scoring at home. So, what's up, Paul?
Weekend's over. End of summer.
Summer's over. Weekend's over.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, man.
Yep.
What's next? I think the apocalypse is next.
No, leaf picking up. The leaves will be falling off the trees.
The leaves. Yeah. So, you know, I got a lot of water in my basement and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we got a dehumidifier.
It just filled up like crazy.
Twice already.
Yeah.
Twice already. But I will tell you this: we were getting that musty smell.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Really?
It's all gone.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
How's the floors?
Well,
they're bubbling yet?
What's that?
They bubbling yet?
No.
Oh.
You know what? No, the floor that we put down is fine. Let me see what's going on. I just want to make sure this thing is working right. Let's see. Are we on? Yeah, I think we're on. Let's see. Let's turn the volume up. Yeah, it's working. All right. See, you never know. You come back from a holiday weekend, and sometimes the system kind of just messes up on us. Just stops. We have a little different setup too, obviously, as you can see, as we're standing, except for Paul.
Right.
And
I'm handicapped.
No, you're not. You're not. And we want to welcome in our guest, Rich Waselik.
Morning.
Hey, Rich, what's going on?
Little as possible.
So I see you shopping yesterday, and I figured, hey, why don't you come on in and join us? And here he is. So
You got me up.
you were up anyway, weren't you?
Well, kind of.
So you are slowly getting involved in the political scene in town.
At a crawl.
At a crawl, okay. So you ran for so you live in the borough, and so you ran for borough Burgess. And I don't think anybody outside of Jewett City knows what a Burgess is.
Probably not. I had to look it up.
So yeah. So you ran for borough Burgess, and now you're running for is it P&Z alternate?
Yes.
P&Z, planning and zoning.
Yeah.
But you're also no, wait a minute. Is this an unofficial meeting here?
Not really.
Not
We
really.
don't have a quorum.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Get
All
a few
right.
more.
Got it. So you're also, along with Paul, you're on the Public Health and Safety Committee here in town.
Yeah, just started.
Okay. Paul, you are the chairman of that.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
maybe I'll learn something.
Pardon?
Maybe I'll learn something.
Not for me.
why not? Why not? You're the chairman. You're the daddy.
I used the mallet.
The mallet. So this has really kind of been reformed, right, Paul?
Yeah.
The Public Health and Safety
Yes.
Committee here in Jewett City, Griswold.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you aim to do now?
Well, one of the things we did was we attempted to find a way to help ease up the traffic violations that were going on. That was the one thing we started to do. We actually sent a letter to the borough, and we sent a letter to the selectmen to see what we could do to help resolve some of the issues related to people going through stop signs and things like that.
Yeah.
So the borough they kind of did their thing. Because they have the state troopers and things, so they are working with them. I think a lot of people got confused on radar signs, and in reality, they're not radar signs for the police department. They were signs that, like just one down on Route 12, just past.
Right. The one tells you how fast you're going.
Yeah, and what they wanted to do is to upgrade that so it keeps track of, how much speeding goes on there, and then they hand that information over to the cops, which has nothing to do with radar things for cops, which people got.
So it's really just for stats.
That's it.
Right.
And a lot of people thought they were buying something for the cops for radar. And then the selectmen said that what they would do is that if anybody had any areas of violations, let them know, and they would address it, because we're outside of the borough, so therefore they can't stick a state cop there to watch it constantly. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing they were going to do is they're looking into perhaps getting a resident state trooper for the town.
The whole town?
Yeah.
But again, they have to find the money. They you know, it's turned over to the selectmen. It's out of our hands now. So that's the other thing we did. And then the second thing we're working on, which we haven't really done a lot on, we had a meeting on it, is to come up and help develop a pandemic plan for the town. In other words, we're going to try to
Right. Okay.
come up with a plan that we could take the state one and put it together and come up with our own. So that's something that's going to be a thing that's going to be going on for the next.
So that's a work in progress right now.
So yeah, so we haven't even started yet, other than having the meeting. So, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to ask people what are some of the things we want to accomplish
Okay.
What do you want-
I mean, as a committee.
as a committee. What do we want to do? You know,
All right.
we did attempt to do. We did some. What the hell did we do? We did a class last year. We did something on CPR, but
Mhm.
nobody attended.
Okay.
So what do you do?
So, Rich, now that's straight up your alley right there. You know,
Much. Yeah.
yeah, that's what you do.
Yes.
So with that being said, I mean, what kind of things do you want to see accomplished on public health and safety in the town? You know,
One of the
what
largest-
kind of expertise do you bring to the board as well?
Well, first, CPR, first aid. I teach it. I have my own business doing it, so obviously it would be a conflict. I couldn't charge for it if I was to do that, but it would be cost only if they wanted me to do it. And then one of the largest things that's really gotten the hair across my ass a little bit was the speeding, because we have kids that play in the streets in our neighborhood.
We attempted to do it. But
Yep. No, it's working.
It's out of
honestly.
our hands.
I think it is working a little bit.
Yeah.
You see some people slowing down. I see people stopping at your stop sign more, at least in my eyes, when I stop.
I think they do when they see me sitting there.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm pretty much
And-
the sign Nazi.
And I saw the trooper actually sitting there. I waved to him one day. He was sitting across the street from
Once.
your house.
I've seen him
once. Yep. And then one of the neighborhoods, I'd like to see more one-sided parking only on the same side as the fire hydrants. Maybe have a sign that says no parking there. So I know, at least on Elm Maple Annex in my neighborhood, the fire apparatus, when they're parking on
Mhm.
both sides of the street, you're not going to get a fire engine down there.
Okay.
So that's one of the I see that as a huge issue that people don't. I know I'm sure the people parking, they don't realize it either. They just think, hey, I got a place to park. I'm going to park. But
Yeah.
you're not going to get fire apparatus down that road, especially making that turn. And then speeding. I even said I'll bring the state trooper out a cup of coffee. You can sit in my driveway.
Yeah.
And watch cars come flying around the corner, almost ending up in the woods sometimes.
There was a resident state trooper we had a while ago. When I'm talking like 12 years ago, but his name was Jeff McDermott. I think he's even retired now.
McDermott probably.
But if so, he became a sergeant.
Mhm.
And I told him one day, I said, look right here, this is at the top of Hill Street,
Mhm.
and right at that Four Corners where the Little League field is, and
Yep.
people would zip right through that stop sign, not even look.
Yeah, we've had car accidents right at that intersection during the school year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is another thing too, is that this is 12 years ago. Not this is doesn't affect who's over there now at the fire department. But every single night that they had a meeting, and usually it was Thursday nights, they'd come out of there like a bat out of hell, and they'd go right through the stop sign themselves. So it was kind of, it was like you chop it off your nose to spite your face kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you had people that were supposedly, protect you, and now they could be running over a kid
Sure.
because they're trying to get out of the. I haven't seen it, since, but Trooper McDermott, I told him he came one day, knocked on the door, and he said, "Can do you mind if I sit on the side of your house to do some enforcement?" I said, "Not at all. You want a coffee?" "Nope, I'm good." No, they never take a coffee.
Oh,
I can never, or whatever.
it's a gift.
It's a gift. See, Paul, it's a gift. I've been telling you that all along.
No, he doesn't know you, so he didn't know what you were going to lace his coffee or
Oh,
not.
come on. Yeah, You don't do that. If you did that, first of all, it's wrong. Second of all, it's stupid because
Oh no, they don't know who you are.
oh my God, somebody, right. All of a sudden you get a trooper down. Why? Somebody put something in his coffee. Who? That guy. Guess what? That guy's going to jail.
Never know.
I already have a house. I don't need another one.
I'm just telling you, that could be the reason why they don't take anything.
Oh, God.
It's just part of their general training. I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
so all those people that blow through stop signs now have gone to Ashland Street.
Mhm.
And I noticed that in the chat room is Doreen, who just popped in there, who is in law enforcement herself.
Oh, Doreen. Hi, Doreen.
Yeah, and it's funny too because if I'm sitting out there and she's a hoot, she'll go to that stop sign, she'll stop, and if she sees me there, she'll look over at me. And she goes, "Look, Mike, I'm a law-abiding citizen." And away she goes. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
So one other thing that we're involved with too now is if the emergency services group. In other words, if there's a town emergency group that when there's a flood or hurricane,
So emergency management.
yeah. So we're involved with that now.
Hmm.
We actually will get a call if we need to go. People can go and sit by a shelter if they have to, or whatever they want us to do, we'll do. But we haven't been called yet, so that's good.
So, like for example, what so you didn't get called at all during the last rainstorm, the remnants of Ida?
No, I participated in the calls and passed the information on to everybody, but no, we didn't have to go. We were going to do sandbags if we had to.
I know somebody put on social media that if somebody needed sandbags to get a hold of Todd Babbitt,
Correct.
and I think they said they were going to deliver them.
It was him.
Was it you?
Yes.
Oh, well, see, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it.
Oh, all right. Glad somebody saw it.
Yeah.
Did anybody call for sandbags or anything?
I think most people ain't got it themselves.
Oh, we up the
Well, yeah, you can just go up to the town hall.
at
I mean,
the
excuse me,
garage?
town garage.
Town garage, yeah.
And what we were going to do was, I think he said last time they had like 125 bags filled.
Mhm.
And what we were going to do is just keep track of them on paper. We weren't going to fill the bags. We were just going to, because that way they get the money back from FEMA. Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
I mean,
But we're getting involved now. This is something this whole committee has been dead for I don't know how many years. So now we're starting to do little things at a time, but we're getting there.
Yeah, when I got on it, they were pretty much said it was not active. It was no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
get on it.
well, this is really nothing to do with me, but I remember last year, a year and a half ago, Paul said here and go, "Yeah, I'm on the Public Health and Safety Board." Yeah. Well, what are you guys doing? Nothing.
You know something? There is an alternate position that you could be involved with.
Who, me?
There is an alternate.
I'm an alternate now,
You can-
on something else.
You could be an alternate. There is an alternate now. We have an alternate position.
Hmm.
So, because nobody was showing up at the meetings, so we put in an alternate. We have an alternate now.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Then you could speak your mind. And
I don't know if I would be able to do that because right now I have committed myself to being a coach for fall ball.
Really?
Yeah. For baseball, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, which is going to be, to me, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're actually meeting here tonight.
Yeah.
I get to meet the kids tonight. So
Make sure you wear a jacket.
we're going to be here.
No, I'm talking about. I used to
there.
go to my grandson's fall ball. Man, I used to wear my winter jacket.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm really psyched about that.
Yeah.
See, one of the things in like when I used to work when I worked at Verizon and I worked at Radio Shack, 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
My schedule sucked. I was always working weekends. It was, nights. When it came to, even it was hard to get out, even to go to a play or a concert or something like that.
Yeah, know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible. Sometimes you could get off, sometimes you can't. So I went, now I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Now my daughter doesn't participate in any sports.
Yeah, so you sit on the couch and watch TV.
No. I've always wanted to coach. I've always wanted to coach baseball. And I think doing the broadcasts for Little League in the last couple of months.
Kind of stoked the fire.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. So
I'll tell you, video in that game kind of brought back memories and enjoying videotape and stuff. And
for you,
yeah,
yeah,
I used to do
A
that
lot
in
of
high
people
school
did.
and stuff. Yeah.
I'd have to bring back memories on 8mm.
Still whining it.
They're finding it. You want to know something? You know how I know Paul? Paul was one of the parents because I was on the same team as his son.
Oh, really?
That's how I met Mr.
Wow.
Lash back then.
Wow.
So
That's
he was
pretty cool.
always there. He was at just about. I don't think he missed a game.
Wow.
He was always there, and that's
pretty cool.
He was nice to all the kids.
Yeah.
But he was there obviously to watch his. But it was neat. It was neat. So it's funny how this is. I always think this is funny how this
I know.
happens like this. So because it's always one of those that circle of life kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
So you got to be careful. What goes around comes around.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. See, look, you're stuck with me now. Karma's a bitch, Paul.
Okay, boss.
he's sitting there like Walter the puppet going, I don't care. I don't care what you think, Jeff.
Oh, you got to see his latest one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got him set up as Biden.
Oh, yes. But Biden and a Trump grumper. You call it Grump, right? Or
Oh
something?
yeah.
Trump or Grump?
Oh man,
I haven't seen it.
It's on YouTube.
It's really funny.
Oh yeah, he's got the glasses on, the dark glasses, the gray hairs there. I swear it's Biden.
Have you seen the videos of Jeff Dunham from Dubai?
No.
I've seen some of them.
And the whole first row are like sheiks and Arabs and stuff like that. And Walter's goes, I think it was Ahmed. He
really?
comes out. He goes, I don't think this is a good idea. And they're all laughing and stuff like that.
He hasn't been on.
Huh?
Ahmed has not been on.
I saw Ahmed from that one.
Yeah, I know, but he's on this newer ones. You don't see him.
And he looked, he goes, silence! I sit next to you.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be at Mohegan Sun more.
he was just there.
He was just there,
He's
yeah.
going to be back. We wanted to go see him again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw him live. I saw him live at the Bushnell about 10 years ago.
Gotcha.
He was really good. And the guy that plays guitar, for him once in a while comes out, and he actually was the opening act.
Oh,
And he was hilarious. And at some points, he was funnier than Jeff Dunham.
wow.
He was very good. He was very, very good.
Well, we went from bing, bing.
And we went from public health and safety to puppets.
Yeah.
So, that's all right. Paul does it all the time. He's whacking that. Whoop, see? Look at
Does he do that?
You're just carrying around with it. Bring in Rich and watch him
Break everything. It's my story.
So, what else do you want to see with public health and safety?
Well, right now, that's all. We got to ask the committee what they want.
I guess one of the things I was going to ask at some point was, what is the scope of how far or wide can?
There actually is a ordinance out there,
Yeah.
a procedure out that
Yeah.
explains the whole thing. So we'll have to get you a copy, but there is one. We got it like 2 meetings ago.
You're on the board. We'll get you covered.
It's like,
No,
I gotta look
unfortunately, it's a
Yeah.
hard copy. It's not a.
Yeah. I'll probably find it online too, right?
Yeah.
On the ordinances
Yeah.
online, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's a page and a half.
Yeah, it's not very long.
I was joking. Like, it's not.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
So Rich, what is it? You talked a little bit about like what you do for a living, and you teach. What is it?
My full-time job is I dispatch for the town of Waterford now. I was in New London for 17 and a half years. I was in Montville and the Tribe before that, and now I'm in Waterford.
Got it. But you also teach.
Yes, I teach first aid, CPR, emergency medical responder, emergency medical technician, OSHA courses. I run my own online academy.
Oh, really?
People can go online and learn classes through like different organizations can go on for their OSHA requirements and stuff like that.
You gonna do a TED talk? Once you do a TED talk, you've made it.
I don't know about a TED talk, but we're looking at maybe doing some online stuff like that. I taught a EMT class. It was during the pandemic during its height, and it was pretty successful doing it hybrid. So all the lectures were online and stuff like that, and hands-on practical stuff was at the firehouse. I'm gonna fix your microphone a little bit here.
Yeah, ain't gonna work.
Well, this should turn.
Nope.
I can't.
Nope.
Was it ready?
Probably broke it.
Nope.
There we
There
go.
you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Was it echoing before?
No, you gotta talk into it a little bit more. Perfect. these see now we're like ASMR. You're like, so we go, how's that? Does that sound better? Is that good? Are you feeling sleepy yet?
It's like Delilah after dark.
Quit picking your nose.
Picking my nose. So you must be independently wealthy with all those ventures.
I wish.
Not happening, huh? No.
Probably not.
No. Well, so
That's my goal, is that I not have to worry about it. But
yeah.
I think a lot of the time it's more getting the information out there and teaching people. I enjoy doing that a lot more than money most of the time. Money helps, don't get me wrong.
Sure. But that's what I find with teachers. They do it really because they want to teach.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you hear about salaries and teacher salaries and whatever. Everybody complains except for the teachers. I don't really hear the teachers complain.
About money, they complain about everything else, but no.
Oh no! Rich Waselik's views are not necessarily those of SNSN Radio, staff, members, or advertisers.
That's funny. My father was a teacher. He was a math teacher at Grasso. And the state system, he was a basketball coach and everything. So he loved it. But
yeah, see, I've never heard really that I can recall any teacher themselves complain about what they make.
No.
Because they're to them, it seems it's not about that.
Well, you look at it, the education they have to get,
mm-hmm.
and the money they put out to learn to teach is they're probably paying that loan off for most of their life. So it's not
true.
You have to get a bachelor's, then you have to get a master's eventually, and then if you want to really make the real money, you got to get a doctorate. So that's.
I don't think any teachers around here.
I don't think
not around here, but that's where the real money's at.
Yeah, they have to get admin classes, and they have to.
That's a whole separate ball game. It's kind of growing up. Yeah.
So I was just gonna say something too. Crap. Speaking of like qualifications for teaching, that's a whole nother ball game right now in Griswold. They're struggling.
They're looking for subs.
And they've even gone to the point where they are saying we don't even need a degree, not even an associate degree.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on I guess they'll.
Well, they have a whole other program too where they're so short on teachers everywhere because of everything you have to deal with out there now as a teacher. It's from what I understand. Obviously, I don't teach in a school, but from what I understand is it's a lot harder being a teacher now because teaching is only a small part of it now.
Right.
All the requirements they put out there that teachers have to deal with and everything. Teaching is a very, very small aspect of it. So you have to do a lot more administrative work. Like when my son's in class, he has substitutes all the time because they're always in meetings dealing with other things besides actually teaching. Yeah. So, and from what I understand, some teachers are even getting out of teaching because you're not teaching. You're doing all this other stuff now. So, so they're actually created programs where, as far as I understand, and correct me if I'm sure you're probably blow up if I'm wrong, but you can go in.
People don't talk. They don't.
You can go in, start teaching, and earn some aspects of your teaching degree while you're actually teaching.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I planned on being a teacher. I actually went over to Griswold at the time, and it was
Now you have your master's, right?
Yeah. And what they told me was, if you want to be a teacher, you got to come here and work so many hours per week. When you work a full-time job, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
I just said, no, I ain't doing it.
Well, whatever it is now, they need a lot of subs, and they're just not getting them. But I think they're also feeling the crunch of the labor crunch.
Oh yeah,
that everybody is feeling. But I want to get to a question first, Paul. This one's for you. Cindy writes, just a thought, Paul. How can people contact you with suggestions for the committee?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I wanted to. I would get a hold of Lisa, Todd's secretary, and have her get the information to us.
So what email? First selectman at grizzled-ct.com?
Or assistant.
Selectman's assistant.
Yeah, it's right on the webpage.
Okay.
And then just say forward this on to the safety committee because we always get correspondence from her.
So there's something that you can do.
I have a suggestion. If after this,
Set up an email.
that's what I would just.
We were
recommend.
going to do that.
like
Okay.
info at Griswold HS or something.
Yeah, but never.
Or just PH.
never happened.
P-
We were going
huh?
to do that, but never got created.
Public health at
Mhm.
griswold-ct.com.
Mhm.
You know, then,
Well, we can try to set one up. We can. I'm
takes-
sure it's not that hard to set it up.
No, it's easy.
oh, no.
Piece of cake.
You can even do it at Gmail.
That's what I was gonna say. Gmail's free.
Yeah, what we can do, have Lisa set it up.
But if you do it on the website, you already have a domain there. So,
yeah, we should go through the town.
yeah.
So yeah, we can bring that up in our first meeting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or you call Paul personally. What's your number, Paul?
I hang.
No, Excuse me, Paul. I need
No, I would do that.
I got a branch hanging here.
Yeah.
I fear for my life.
But we're welcome. And if they have any concerns, all we can do is look into them and pass them on to.
But that's a great question. If they have concerns, they have no way to get in touch with you guys.
Usually they go through Lisa
Okay.
because we get correspondence.
So Lisa Wood is the selectman's assistant. She's the executive assistant
Right.
here in the town.
Right.
And you can reach her at selectmansassistant
I believe it is.
at grizzled-ct.com or just first selectman
Yeah.
at
It's right on the front
grizzled-ct.com.
page of the website.
Right.
Yeah.
But that is a way to reach out to the Public Health and Safety Board,
Correct.
here in the town.
Right.
Because otherwise, how else are they going to get in touch with you?
Right. I mean, we've had complaints about people not shoveling sidewalks too.
Mhm.
We've passed on. So, that type of stuff.
Okay.
You got to keep in mind, we don't really have an authority to force somebody to do it.
You don't walk out there with a ticket book?
No, all we can do
Recommendation
is take the information and pass it on to the right individuals.
Okay.
That's what we can do.
No more parking meters.
Yeah.
You can have one of them hats
No,
out there.
no.
Meter maid.
Meter maid, yeah. I am Paul. I'm your meter maid. Sorry, you're past your put in a quarter right now, or I'm getting you a $40 ticket.
There's no meters in town.
No, I know.
Yeah.
They still have in Norwich.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
You know what else?
I'm
they-
surprised they're not, they're probably not digital till you probably bring your phone up to them.
Yeah.
You know what else they got in Norwich?
What?
A mask mandate.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Depends on where you go, though.
Oh, Norwich. Well, you said there was one spot that you
One
walked
spot?
in that just said, "How the hell with it."
Well, there was an interesting thing with that.
Okay, go ahead.
It was said any public place was required to wear a mask. Now you have to
Okay.
define public place.
Okay.
That's where the
That's true.
interesting twist comes
Yeah.
in.
It could be the town office buildings.
There's a lot of place businesses took it as, well, public comes in here, but it's not a public place. It's a private business.
Correct. Right.
So I don't think so. A lot of people are understanding what some of the mandates or requirements are.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of it comes
I
in.
mean, you go into the town hall, you got to wear a mask.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Well, like we went into a store yesterday in Norwich,
Yeah.
and it said right on the door,
Mhm.
masks are mandatory.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, great, another mask opportunity.
I went to a hairdresser the
Mhm.
other day. Masks are back on again at the hairdressers.
For every hairdresser or just that one?
When I was in Norwich, and it was
Norwich.
like,
Oh,
yeah.
Norwich. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of them, like when my wife boxes at Reyes boxing gym, he requires people to wear them because they believe that they said the public has to wear masks or in any public place.
Mhm.
But he was more worried about losing his permit.
Sure.
It wasn't necessarily required there, probably not, but they're afraid someone's going to come in, get pissed off, and then
Sure.
go make a complaint, and then they lose their
$100 fine.
permit.
Yeah. Well, we've talked to Todd. We've talked to Tom Sparkman,
Mhm.
and they have said right out that they are not going to put, or they're at least now they're not going to put a mask mandate
Mhm.
in for the town because they want businesses to go ahead and make up their own mind
Right.
on what they want. They would wish their customers to do.
Yeah, and it's not going away. So I was reading this morning now that the Surgeon General had an article this morning that he came out and flat out admitted that this is not going away.
No.
It might get diminished just like every other flu or bug out there and everything, but it's not going away. It's going to
It's a virus. They don't never go away.
And it was around before us, and it's going to be around when we're all going. So it's thing is, how far do you want to go?
Can't let it control the lives.
Right.
Yep.
I think that's a lot of the problem people are having right now. Is at least a lot of people I talk to is how far are we going to let them push all these mandates? How far are we?
Yep.
There's only so far you can go.
I mean, will I wear a mask at the town hall?
Mhm.
Yeah. Will I wear a mask outside or go into the? No, until they tell me I have to.
Mhm.
Am I afraid? No.
No.
What are you gonna do?
I gotta say that it really hasn't changed my life at all. I've told you that
Yeah.
a ton of
I'm not
times.
gonna let this stuff, keep me from doing things I want to do.
You know, it really hasn't. I haven't. I mean, really, I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
Most
So,
of the time.
Yeah,
anyway.
right.
But I the thing that I have a problem with myself personally, not as a business person or anything, but just personally, is that I did get the vaccine, and to me, that says, all right, well, I did my part, then I should be able to go ahead and
Do what you want.
not wear a mask or whatever. But that was the narrative at first. Then they changed it.
Mhm.
It's like, nope, we got to do it again. And when you see, we saw kids at Disney World double masked.
Yeah.
Go ahead, speak on that, Rich.
Well, I just, teaching all these classes and stuff. One of the biggest things is
Oh, before you go
Yeah,
on, I
go ahead.
just want to say, Daniel Pierce joined the room and he has commented, the letter L. That's it. I wanted to point that out. The letter L. What's this, Sesame Street? Today's broadcast being brought to you by the letter L and the numbers 1, 3, and 7. All right, go ahead, Rich.
no. I would just like the whole mask thing is number one. I have a couple different views on it, but one of the largest ones is walking around with a diaper on your face.
Yeah.
To me, it's just we get trained. We have to put big things over our head. They got to spray a chemical in there to test whether or not the mask works, this or not, the particulates and everything. And now, oh, it's okay. Just throw this thing on your face and you'll be fine. To me, it's more like a security blanket. And that's not necessarily the public safety's opinion on it. That's my own personal opinion on it. But the whole thing is Connecticut had the toughest or one of the toughest mask mandates. And, every mandate known to man was on the state of Connecticut. You had to shut your business down, lose your business, give up everything in your life. And that's going to fix everything. And now you're back to it. Oh, okay. Those states that didn't do all that are now people are happier. They're moving around. They're running around. They didn't lose their businesses. Mental health is a lot better. And they're back to normal. And now,
For the most part.
yeah. So who can really say this is benefiting anybody? To me, it's almost like forget the numbers. Common sense prevails. It's not going away.
Yeah.
Let everybody get back to their life, get money again, live their life, and what happens is going to happen.
Paul, you have look like you had a comment.
Yeah. Well, some of those states, though, that didn't have the big mask mandate, they're pretty much infected. A lot of them are.
Yeah, some of them are
Yeah.
affected. But I think they're like every other state now, though. It's not. I don't think they're necessarily in a worse condition than we are. And this whole thing about hospitals being overrun, this and that. I've talked to nurses that work in a lot of these hospitals, and
Although they want to fire their butts because they won't get a shot.
yeah, well, the nurses won't get a shot. Yeah,
So,
But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
they weren't overrun.
Mhm.
And hospitals, and I'll let you know firsthand, hospitals were being overrun well before COVID.
Sure.
They were being rerouting ambulances all over the state before COVID ever was known to everybody. So, are we necessarily worse off than we were before?
We just didn't hear about it.
Right. I think it's just now it's being publicized. Social media took over.
Well, here's another way, and this is a very unfortunate situation too, is about 3 years ago, we as a community would hear all the time about drug overdoses.
Mhm.
And the reason for that, I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, is because the only people that were trained in Narcan were the Connecticut State Police, and they were the only ones at that point that could administer it. So then it became a police report.
Mhm.
So that became public. Now that first responders, all of them, are required to be able to know how to administer Narcan.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a medical call. It's not a news story.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, well, I don't hear about it anymore. Well, it's still happening.
Right.
Yeah, it's happening a lot.
It's happening a lot. Matter of fact, we're going to have Miranda Mahoney in here on Thursday because we have the Matt's Mission event on Saturday at Veterans Memorial Park.
That?
Matt's Mission Matt's Mission celebrates recovery. Matt's Mission is an organization that is out there to try to change the stigma of or alter the stigma of drug abuse, and drug addiction. So in other words, let's say Paul is addicted to heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just using you for an example.
I know.
Okay. People may look at Paul and say, well, what a scumbag, drug addict. But what they don't know is that Paul's a good guy. Paul has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think people would be surprised if they really knew how many there are out there. That they probably know a ton of them and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
That's one of the amazing things.
Generally what causes them, I guess, is something tragic.
Usually.
right.
That's in their
But the
life.
thing is, we don't
Yeah.
hear about it now as a society
Yeah.
because of HIPAA,
Yeah.
because now they're medical situations. They're not, it's not a police story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but it is still happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's still happening at all. Dan, he goes ahead and he says something more than the letter L. And he says, to me, doctors and nurses wear masks all the time. I believe the theory is they were to protect you from possible infections from them.
Some of them.
So, and I heard that too.
Mhm.
That's how it
Depends on what
translated
kind
to
of
me.
mask they're wearing.
Right. But what I had heard even from like Fauci back, when this all started, is the mask wasn't there to protect me. It was there to protect you from me. But then again, if I've got the vaccine, why do I need that protection from you?
Well, I think one of the misnomers also is that the people believe that they're not going to get it if they have the vaccine.
That's true.
That's 100% wrong. You don't get it if you get it
They,
if you have the vaccine.
they
You
won't
pass
say
it
that.
on.
They won't say that you're guaranteed not to get it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't, do you not get the flu if you have a flu
Mhm.
vaccine? Do you not get smallpox or
It's just-
chickenpox?
Right.
I mean, you just don't get it to the
It's
level.
not as bad, right?
Right.
Here's something that is not COVID related. Thank goodness. Tom says out of Plainfield, stolen goals from Plainfield youth soccer team's goals were stolen from the field in Sterling. They're supposed to start practicing in just a few days. Please keep your eyes peeled for them. They're the huge steel ones. Who the hell steals this?
People that want money for the steal, I guess.
God, maybe yeah. So, please, they're the huge steel ones.
Huh.
So hard to move and conceal. Please report it if you see them. They will cost thousands to replace, and the kids don't have anything else to use right now. Why does that suck?
Yeah.
Dirtbags.
Thanks, Tom, for bringing that to our attention.
It's kind of a bummer.
Huh?
That's a bummer.
That's yeah.
Why the hell are they stealing it for?
I don't know.
Prank.
Yeah. But then again, it's very heavy.
Yeah, let's take
You
a
know,
few
like you
people.
said-
and
Oh,
take
you
them out.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
cut them up.
Yeah,
One or the
take
other.
a group of guys to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Put it on a truck?
I could see that, honestly. Yeah.
How big are they? You think?
Probably at least 10 feet long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we think so. The goals.
Yeah.
Do they fit apart? Do they?
They'd
Pull
probably have
apart?
to cut them with a sawzall or something real quick.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Tom. You're welcome.
Mhm.
So he says, thank you guys. And that's awful, Tom. I'm sorry that you guys are going through that out there. That's a bunch of crap. That is. So we're going to take a quick break. Paul, we're going to come back. And Rich, I want to talk about kids. I want to talk about we all have had teenagers or have teenagers or past that or whatever. But there's a couple of subjects I want to talk about and to get your opinion. And folks, I want to get your opinion too and see what you think on the state of teenagers these days. Paul raises his eyebrows.
So how much time do we have?
Yeah. But we would love to hear, especially me. I would love to hear what you think. We'll be back in a minute. right here on SNSN.
Don't just wish for a winning deal. Make it Dish. It will make it real. Don't just wish. Make it Dish.
Hey everyone, this is Ellis Dish from Dish Motors. We're back better than ever with our new sales and service center on Route 32 in North Franklin. Everyone says there's nothing better than dealing with the dishes, and here's why. Selection. We have the area's largest inventory of off-lease, one-owner vehicles of all makes and models. You name it, we got it, or I'll get it for you at no additional charge. Quality. Each vehicle goes through a rigorous 120-point safety and quality check. Nothing leaves the lot without my personal approval. Convenience. We have financing sources for almost any situation. We offer on-site registration processing, and we have maintenance programs for years of stress-free ownership. And now open for all your maintenance needs. Our full-service repair facility, where oil changes start at just $19.99. Call today for your appointment or just stop by. So save thousands and deal with the dishes. Route 32, North Franklin. Or check us out online at dishfranklin.com. Or ring us, 860-383-4750.
Don't just wish. Make it Dish.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. A divided Supreme Court is allowing a Texas law that bans most abortions to remain in force. In an unsigned order, the court voted 5-4 to deny an emergency appeal from abortion providers and others that sought to block enforcement of the law that went into effect Wednesday. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Army General Mark Milley, says it's possible the U.S. will coordinate with the Taliban on any future counterterrorism strikes.
Hey, I'm Jess, but you can call me the Tire Queen. For the best deals on tires, come and see me at Advanced Automotive on Route 138 in Griswold. Call me at 860-376-8687. But definitely don't talk to my dad. He's definitely not the Tire King.
And right now, Jess the Tire Queen has great deals and excellent service waiting for you at Advanced Automotive, Route 138, Griswold.
Tire Queen.
The latest news and weather. SNSN.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. It is 9 o'clock straight up. My computer decides it does what it wants to do, when it wants to do it. And but we're back. We are back. So thanks for joining us. Paul, good morning. Rich, good morning. Rich Waselik is here, who's also running for public office. We'll talk about that another day. And Paul, who's not running for public office.
I did once.
You did? What'd you run for?
Zoning.
Oh, did you
alternate.
P&Z?
Yeah, alternate.
And what happened?
I lost.
You got defeated, huh?
Was it independent?
Who defeated you?
I don't know. At the time, some Democrat.
Some Democrat.
Well, it was
Wow.
during the Bricky time.
Oh, okay. Well, his daughter's coming through the ranks now too, so
whatever.
it's Bricky time part 2.
Yeah, I used to call us stupid and everything else. I called him up and reamed his ass out one day. Don't you ever call me stupid?
Wow.
Yeah, that's all that political.
Whoa.
That was all. Yeah, I was young then. That was all the political crap that went on.
Wow.
back
Yeah.
then. Yeah, it's not so bad now, but
Not so bad.
well, maybe who knows? We'll see.
Well, I don't play that game, so
No.
I can't stand that.
No.
You might not agree with me, but good for you. I don't
Yeah.
care. We'll talk about it and call it a day. Doesn't
Yeah,
make
you can agree
any,
to disagree.
Yeah,
You know.
doesn't make you any better or worse. It just
Well, it's kind of like the other night when we got flooded, and I was going to the bathroom. That's how I figured out we were flooded. My feet went on the ground and we're submerged in water.
Yeah, you should thought anyway.
Huh?
That wasn't probably your first thought.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was dreaming or what. You know, because you have those weird dreams, but it's like, oh no, it's real. And Melissa was. I'm like, Melissa goes, well, I'm surprised you're not much more mad. I'm like, is it going to make the water go away?
yeah, that was gonna help. Yeah,
What's it going to do? Should I go ahead and get myself all in a tizzy? Why? Because the water's still going to be here,
it's
no
interesting.
matter what I do.
For my master's degree, I was working on. I was doing emergency management, and I studied the floods that they had out here years ago, and how the water came over.
Especially down South Main Street.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then it actually came up into our neighborhood, in the swampy area and the river back there. It came up into that area as well. So it is kind of a flood area.
It's weird. It was just weird. Well, there was a reason why we got flooded. That's it's the sump pump that was supposed to work
broke.
didn't work.
Well, now you got a new one, so you're all
I do.
set. You're all set.
Yeah, I got a real fancy
Till the
dance
power
one.
goes
So.
off.
Oh, shut up, Paul. Really? Come on, man.
Just giving
I
you
got
the.
a generator.
Just giving you the alternate.
I got a generator.
Okay, then you're all set.
Thank goodness.
How big of a generator?
I'm a negative Nancy sometimes. Huh?
How big of a generator?
It's only like 10,000 watts.
So just
8,000 watts.
The important stuff.
Yeah, just like if we like
Then
the
if we could
freezer, the
plug our
fridge.
in. That's what I was wondering.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. You want to keep the food cold. You know,
So we can run a wire to your house and plug the fridge in.
you can just go across the next road. And, that's all you get. Yeah, that's all I care about is make sure the food doesn't go bad. Lights. Here's a freaking candle.
Yeah.
You'll get over it. We used to do that all the time when we were kids. The lights would go out all the time from a
Don't leave it
thunderstorm.
on.
What?
Blow the candle out.
Oh yeah, blow the candle out. No, I'm horrible.
No,
About-
just a simple thing. Get some solar lights, leave them outside.
Oh, there you go. Solar lights.
And then bring them in, and it lights the whole house up.
like the ones for the driveway.
Don't even worry about it.
Life hacks with Paul Lash.
Just
I didn't
tell
even
you.
think of that. That's a good idea.
We've used them.
Well, you were mentioning kids. The important thing is the cell phone now. So you got to plug your cell phone in.
Got to plug your cell phone in. But then again, if we all have iPhones, except for Melissa, she likes her.
Yeah, we won't get iPhones.
Android.
The kids have them. Well, most of the kids have them. We won't get them.
Yeah, they can go out in the car. But-
Yeah.
so they're. So the kids are going to be in the car all day because they're charging them, right? But they're using the charge faster than the phone will actually charge.
Yeah.
With all the stuff that they do.
See, Kathy, that's what's going on. I told you with the kids.
The phones are charging it, but everything they're doing with it.
The other thing you can do is you can just buy a converter, attach it to your car battery.
Yeah.
Just run an extension cord off of that. It'll light up a couple of
Mhm.
minutes.
We're just getting in. We're talking about an inverter, right?
Yeah, it changes DC to
Right, an
yeah,
inverter.
yeah.
Yeah, you just come right out of your cigarette lighter plug.
Well, yeah, you can.
So and I have one of those too.
You have the USB plugins. In the
Yes, I
front
do.
and back.
I do.
Yeah.
It's all ways to get stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about. I wanted to bring up a situation about kids, and I wanted to see if anybody, had any ideas, about this, or any feelings or thoughts. To me, I'm finding that a lot of teenagers these days. I'm going to preface this by saying, yesterday I said to Melissa, and I went, "These kids these days," and I went, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
I've heard that before
Well,
from parents when I was young. These kids these days.
Well, Mike, our kids were saying, when you guys were kids back in the 1900s. We're like, wait a minute. Oh, damn. They're right. Yeah. Back in the...
Well, back in the day,
yeah.
we would cook cookies by putting them out on the lawn. It was so freaking hot they'd make cookies. But no, I just I don't think there's a lot of compassion. I don't think there's a lot of compassion with kids these days. I don't think that they respect authority.
No, because they're not made to.
And this is not every kid. But I think they don't. And I don't know if it's because of COVID, because now they're just frustrated and don't care, or they just don't care.
No.
I think it's a combination of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
There's, unfortunately, we live in a society that has no accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not just for kids, for adults too.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right.
And how do you get accountability? Ability. You learn it.
You're
You got to learn it. It's got to be taught.
Yeah.
If not, then you're just gonna.
Right.
You're just gonna run around and do your own thing.
Well, look what's going on around us. I mean, a lot of what they're trying to do in the legislature is a lot of the teens out there now, they're stealing all these cars,
Mhm.
right? Even we've had cars stolen out of this area, and they're coming from other areas, and the kids steal them, and they go in and they walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all underage and they get away with it. They know they can.
Mhm.
So,
There's been instances where they go and shoot or stab people, and you got a couple years. Well, good luck.
It was a stabbing at the Woodstock Fair.
Yes. Right at the main end or the entrance by the Ferris wheel. Yeah.
there were 3 shootings in Hartford over the weekend.
Yeah. And they're all done. Most of them are done by younger, not necessarily kids, but they're done by younger people.
Younger adults.
A couple
Some of them are
years.
kids.
Yeah. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
But they don't, there's no, like you said, repercussion. There's no punishment for it. There's no learning from making a mistake or,
Right. Nothing.
and like good thing with like my son, when he was younger, he came home from school. I won't say the school system, but they were being taught, well, if you don't like what your parents say or do, call DCF.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they don't
he's-
care.
Yeah, he told me, he said, well, you can't make me do that. I can call DCF. And I said, well, actually, I know them at DCF. So you want me to call them for you? I was at their party a couple of weeks ago for dinner. So you want me to call them and they can come pick you up? Because what's going to happen is you're taken away. I'm still sitting here. So what's your better recourse for that?
So Dan says, please don't take this the wrong way, but there seems to be a large amount of the feeling of entitlement.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And then they can do whatever they want with no consequences.
Yes. And I think they're being taught that different places. So they're actually being taught that now. It's not something that the parents don't have any control over that anymore. Because if the parents discipline them,
See, I disagree.
well, I mean, what I'm saying is if they do discipline them and the kid goes to school and say, my parents disciplined me this way, they can call DCF. It's automatic DCF referral. And then the parents are being looked at as if they're beating their kids. And it's more punishment on the parents for disciplining their kids.
Mhm.
And this also happened, like my son, he took his shirt off at school during a basketball game and they called DCF because he had stretch marks. And they
Really?
true story.
Wow.
So it's like, all right, well, he's got stretch marks, and DCF laughed. They're like, yeah, we know this is not, you weren't beating your kid. It's just stretch marks.
So, Paul, let me ask you this, and I'm not going to ask you which kid or either kid or anything like that, but like if and this is before cell phones, obviously, when your kids were growing up,
Oh, no cell phones.
right? Barely even a cordless phone,
Correct.
right? So, if one of your kids went out with somebody else, did you ask them where they were going?
Yep.
And did they tell you?
Nope.
They wouldn't tell you?
No,
They wouldn't tell you where they were going.
Out. Going out
Okay, we're talking like a 15, 16-year-old kid. Okay.
and try and stop them. Maybe just walk out anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's one thing. How did that affect the family dynamic? Did it or did it not?
Oh, there was times where things were tough.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put anybody through it.
Got it. What about you?
I haven't run across that problem yet.
No. Okay.
I flat out tell him you ain't going anywhere. So
See, when
but
I
the problem was you can't get anywhere without us right now. So
well, they're gonna go with a friend.
Yeah.
So what? Like my mother, on the other hand, it was like, and so you were saying, you can't teach the kids or something like that, or Rich, you were talking about it. They're just gonna do what they want anyway. I still think it's instilled at home.
it starts at home.
It starts at home. So, for example, now, I mean, I did my share of shit. I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but I did, different little things here and there, like pranks or whatever. So, next thing you know, my mother would tell me, "You going out? Uh-huh. Where you going?" If I didn't tell her, she would get in my face. And she would say, "You still live in this house." And this continued until I moved out when I was like 19. Mom, I'm an adult. I don't give a bleep, bleep, bleep how old you are. You're living in this house. You're going to tell me where you're going. I'm not going to bother you. I just want to make sure you're safe. Okay. So I would tell her.
Yeah.
She would tell me why. A lot of kids these days, where you going? Out.
Yeah, there's none of your business.
None of your business. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So if you're wrapped around a telephone pole, is that none of my business too?
Yeah.
I mean, as it
And
got a little older, and we just tell them, if you're not coming home, let me know. Pretty much.
like, for example, there were these kids over the weekend had an unfortunate situation. I don't know exactly where they were from. They were from Eastern Connecticut. I don't know if they were from Valentine or Lisbon, but they weren't Grizzle kids, from what I understand. But they went to a concert, came back, and one of the parents, you know how she found out? They got in an accident because one of the kids had their location on Snapchat that said Children's Hospital in Rhode Island.
That sucks.
The parent didn't even know. The kid didn't say where we were.
Yeah.
That's why we have GPS on all our kids.
So it's like,
Well, I think
what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah. I hear you, because I got a call one night, and I got a call from, it wasn't the kid, it was somebody going by the accident, said, your kid's in the hospital, doesn't look good. At the back, is get down there quick.
Oh, sheesh.
See, now this is a different story. Back in the day when there weren't cell phones, or anything like that, you would get that phone call from a medical provider, or somebody would stop at your house, or whatever. And that's that. These days, everybody's wired up with something.
Yeah.
And if for God forbid, like Rich, let's say you and I went out, we're kids, I didn't have a phone. One of us does.
Yeah.
One of us does.
Right. Yeah, that was a rollover.
Wow.
Okay.
And I saw the vehicle app. It was like, holy crap.
Wow.
Well, anyway, these 5 kids, they are okay. And I believe they were treated and released and everything. But there are pictures on Facebook. This car was mauled. They were hit by a drunk driver. They're lucky.
Yeah.
They're very, very fortunate. Thank God,
Yeah.
they're okay. So Daryl, from our friend from the Healthy Computer here in the beautiful, spacious borough of Jewett City. Kids get this information, and this is spot on, from social media, like Reddit and different forums like that. And they get on with other kids and complain about the other kids, tell them what to do to get out of the situation. So you have uneducated, or I don't want to say uneducated, but kids that don't have any life experience trying to go ahead and tutor other kids with no life experience. And this is the type of situation, and they don't get it.
No. We have that all the time at home because we got like a 13, 14, 15-year-old, something
Right.
like that.
Well,
Moving up in age. And
if you go back years ago, it was the kids they hung around with.
yeah. Now it's you hung around.
Now
millions.
it's different, but back then it was the kids they hung around with that told them how to get out.
Like my son says it all the time. I'm hanging out with my friends. What do you mean? You're in your bedroom? Oh, we're online. Well, you're not hanging out with them. I'm hanging out with them. I'm talking with all of them all over the world.
Yeah.
And they'll watch these videos and think it's all true and real.
Exactly.
And they don't know any better.
Right.
But,
They don't.
No.
They don't. And I mean, I've seen it kind of grow, over the years. Like, for example, when I was married previous, and my stepson Dane, who I completely adore, and we still talk and whatever. He was mischievous, but he always said where he was going. It's like, but that was like, I was with him since he was seven. And I would tell him, you tell me where you're going. I don't care. You got your phone with you. That's fine. But as long as they know where you're going. So, if something happens, not gonna bother you, not gonna go try to find you, and not gonna text you left and right. Just want to know that you're okay. When you're 16, 17 years old, you want that. You need that. That space.
Yeah.
You don't get it. You're gonna rebel.
grow, but it's gotta be a safe. It's like
gotta be a safe space. And then some of these kids, I think, really tried to push their boundaries too far, and it gets to be a serious problem to their own physical well-being, and they don't understand that.
Yeah, it happens a lot when they're driving vehicles. A lot of them they just have no idea what's.
Well, we tell our kids, you're not getting your driver's license. You can't even tell us how to get across town in the right direction. You think you're giving you a car?
I mean, a lot of them just have they just speed like crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
no fear factor.
Yeah, I mean, I drive fast, don't get me wrong, but somebody's why me?
Bill Knight says it falls on the adults to make all these changes to protect them, which I understand, but adults are the ones to blame for those kids who get away with everything due to not being disciplined. Society breeds this piss poor system, he says, of being able to set the standards in a household.
Yeah.
So what do you think the next generation is going to be like?
I don't know.
That's the scary part.
These kids here now, when they grow up and they have kids and they've gotten away with all this crap, what do you think's going to happen to the next set of kids that come out 20 years from now?
Yeah. And there's some really good kids out there, but they're just making bad decisions.
Well, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? they make the mistakes. And how did we learn as we were getting older? You make a
Right.
mistake, you learn the correction, and you go on from that. Now there's like, you can't correct them.
Right. So like Cameron at our house, he's not a bad kid. He's not gonna, he's not gonna go and, does he do little pranky things sometimes? Sure. We all did.
Mhm.
Big deal. Harmless, just kid shit, right? No big deal. Well, there are some times, where, and when he goes out and stuff like that, sometimes he'll pull the whole, blah, 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 I'm not, whatever. He doesn't, I try to tell him, dude, don't care where you go, and his mother says, we trust you. We just want to know in case something happens. That's it. So I told him, I said, leave your, just leave your snap map location on.
Mhm.
And, I've never bothered him when he's out ever. Hey, when you coming home? Where are you? Okay, great. See you later. Because Melissa say, you know where Cameron is? No. But the thing is that, I always kind of know, and she does too.
Yeah.
So at least we're kind of lucky there. He's not a bad kid at all. He gets some shit. He's a wise ass sometimes, but then again, he's a 17-year-old boy.
We have Life 360
Yeah.
on all the kids, all of our phones. The
Mhm.
kids can even see where we are. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Hey, we trust you, but you can see where we are too. So
We can see him on the snap map, or whatever. I
never
told
looked
him,
on a snap map. That's kind of
no, it's easy. You just Snapchat.
just a map on the Snapchat app.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. As long as you enable your location, you can
Okay.
you can also
You limit who sees it.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can have it just so there's only a certain circle of people or whatever. Sometimes what kids do is they'll go ahead and they'll disable it because they don't want you to know where they are.
We told the kids we're
Why are you being
disabling.
so secretive?
The kids were disabling Life 360. We told them you can disable it if you want. We're just not going to pay your phone bill. You won't have a phone anymore, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That you
And
tend
that's
to-
where the entitlement comes in. That's where the entitlement comes in.
Yep.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I have a right to have a phone. My son said that to me when he was younger. Well,
Yeah.
what do you mean you can't take my phone away? Like, really? I'll take it right now and smash it into 1,000 pieces. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's the same but different.
Mhm.
Kids today so I know it sounds like we're crapping on the kids, but we're not.
No,
It's
to me, it's a concern.
it's a concern,
Yeah.
but I still think no matter what you do, there are good kids and there are just bad. They're
Oh, it's like everything
unfortunately
else.
they're bad
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And then there are people that say there are no bad kids. Well, yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
Well, it's nature versus nurture. You have some that are born
Exactly.
DNA, and then you have some that are grown that way. It's just
Michael Neville in the group. Hey, Michael, he's the newest member of our SNSN Sports Broadcast team. You'll get to meet Michael Friday night as when we broadcast Griswold versus Ledyard.
nice.
So, and he puts on there, he goes, next generation is already screwed. Now, Michael's a young man. So, this is a different perspective.
Yeah.
These kids, there's kids that start doing X-rated stuff and drugs at 12. It's crazy. That's social media.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's social media.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely. And then one of the interesting things we found out was from a Norwich officer was those
Mhm.
kids that are, just so the kids know, they can be charged with child pornography just for having other kids as naked pictures.
yeah, I've heard that too.
So they can get in just as much trouble. Obviously, it's not going to be as bad, but
Yeah.
like anything else.
Yeah. Well, you know what I learned, and this is something I won't even. Well, not now, but back when I was dating, I would never send flowers. The reason why was because, and I don't know if I told you the story or not, Paul, but I met a girl one time. I was like 20. No, it was more like maybe 31, 32. And I met this girl. I locked my keys in my car. So I was at a gas station, kind of stranded, waiting for AAA. This is when they were still bringing the Slim Jim, and yeah. So I was sitting there waiting, and there was a girl that I ended up talking to. We talked for a while,
Did you really lock your keys in the car?
I did.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I was screwed. I was yeah. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and it took him 3 hours to get there. So this girl, we talked for like 2-3 hours. And it was like really, really cool, right? So I said to her, I said, well, hey, can I get, your phone number? We didn't have cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have cell phones yet. And she goes, and I should have realized. She goes, well, I'll give you my work number because I'm there all the time. And I just knew her. I don't remember her name now, but all I knew was her first name. That was it. So what I did is I didn't call. I waited a couple of days, and then I actually sent flowers. Okay. And to where she worked. Well, next thing you know, there's a Norwich cop visiting me at work. Hi. Yeah, did you send flowers to so-and-so? Yeah, I guess so. At her work. Yeah. He had a copy of the receipt and everything. So they were investigating this.
Wow.
They said, well, can you come down to the police station? We have, some questions. Sure. So I went down there. Long story short, this girl called the police, told them that I was calling her at her home, making lewd suggestions. And I looked at the police officer and I said, I don't even know her last name. I said, so how would I call her at home? She only gave me her work phone number. Okay. Anyway, they said, well, we got nothing here. You're all set or whatever. Found out from a Norwich police officer. Back then I had a couple of friends that were police officers in Norwich. What it turned out is this girl was engaged and her fiance found out that somebody sent her flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history.
Wow.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Wow.
So there you go. So even to give you an idea, I won't send flowers. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't need to. I mean, I would send them to Melissa, but you see what I'm saying? Yeah. When I was dating, I would never send flowers again.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, it just takes somebody with a hair across their butt.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, this girl didn't want to get called out, is what happened. So she made up this story. I don't know if she got arrested or anything. I think she got a
summons.
Yeah, she got a summons for filing a false report.
And not married.
Huh?
And not married.
Yeah. So needless to say, I was done with that, and I was just. No. But it affects you. I mean, Paul, if something like that happened to you, I mean, how would you feel?
Same way.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, it's damaging.
Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah. The trouble is you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Well, unfortunately, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Especially these days. That's like you said. It goes back to the social media thing. That would have been on Facebook. Next thing you know, you're stalking this woman.
Yeah, he's a sex offender.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. These days and everything, even if I accidentally bump into somebody, I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't, because you never know. Because guys, there are some dirt bad guys. We know this. But then there are some guys that are just, hey, they're trying to live their life. Yeah. And then somebody sums up with some cockamamie story.
It's kind of like being on the defensive all the time, though. You have to be.
These are days I wish I was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Serious. I'm serious. Because dudes don't care. I mean, so I'm not. So here we are. Sherry makes a good comment. Says parents need to go back to being parents and stop trying to be the kids' friends.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty tough. Pretty tough to do. Yeah.
And let's see. Bill, you crazy loon, said, you met a girl. Sounds like a song. Darn, I better cancel all those flowers sent to the studio. It's all right, Bill. I'll just call you Pookie. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I think part of the problem of being parents today, too, like when we were kids, or probably, my parents both had a job, but now both parents have to work.
Mine did, too. Some have to work 1 or 2 jobs now. Mm-hmm. So that's part of the other problem. Your kids are left home a lot more because the parents have to work. They can't afford to do anything. Yeah. Well, actually, we were on the cusp. I mean, my dad worked And my mom stayed home up
Mhm.
until I was in high school when I became a freshman. Then she went to work.
Mhm.
So anyway, so good. I'm sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. I think a lot of parents today are forced to work a lot more than they were a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's just you have to work just to be able to put food on your table.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
like we went shopping yesterday, a couple $100 at Walmart, $100 here, $100 there. Next thing you know, I'm working overtime. No.
It's true.
So we're lucky we both have decent jobs.
Right,
So,
right. I'm saying you, Kathy has a decent job too.
Yeah,
got
she
a
has
good
an excellent job.
Yeah.
Project manager, pharmaceuticals. So luckily, we're able to afford it. But then you got people that aren't
Sure.
because they want to work but they can't.
Yep.
So it's tough.
Mhm.
And the kids
It is
are
tough, yeah.
stuck home. What are they going to do? Kids are mischievous by nature. That's part of the problem. But
Oh yeah, I did some
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
oh, yeah.
I turned around and my mother always kept alcohol in the house in the big hutch underneath. It was all lined up, right? I was never really, even as a kid, I'm still not a drinker or anything. But you're curious.
Mhm.
So there was vodka. So I opened it up. Well, it was already open. And I poured a little. Like, okay. Not bad. Well, I got soused. And I ended up going to bed. I was a latchkey kid. I would come home, parents were at work. My dad would get home like around, depending on what shift he was working, because he worked a rotating shift.
Mhm.
He would come home sometimes if he was on first, he'd be home at 4:30. But if he was working second, him and my mother were already gone, and they wouldn't be home till after 11. Those were the days.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Mark, come on over. Look what's in the cabinet. But this only happened a couple of times. And then we drank enough of that liquid that we said, they're going to notice. So you know what we did?
Water.
Water. Well, my mother found out.
Tastes a little different.
She had people over, and people were, they wanted a screwdriver. That was a big drink back then.
Yeah.
Vodka and orange juice. Can I have one of those? Hey, this is a little watered down. It's like sounds like a bar downtown. But sorry. Yeah. So I was like, Michael! Yeah, Ma, what's up? Can you come down here for a minute? Now, this is with people around now. All right, sitting around the table, playing cards. Yeah, Mom. I have a question for you. Yeah? I couldn't lie to my mother. I tried like hell, but I couldn't do it because my mother had the will of a, I don't know. It was crazy. Michael, I have a question. I'm looking around at the people. They're all looking at me. Did you drink some vodka? No. Michael. Now, she's calling me Michael, first of all. So I knew the gig was up.
Okay.
Michael David. Oh, shit. Yeah, I did. Okay, we'll talk about this later. And that was it, but she did it right for me.
That was enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was embarrassed now.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. She didn't, and yeah. But you know what the funny thing is that my mom was, do I tell too many family stories?
No. Interesting.
You know what the funny thing is, Paul? Is the first time I ever smoked pot was with my mother.
Well, that's a lesson right there. Huh?
Because I was scared. Because she would come home at 11:30 and she would smoke a joint. Now, this is back in 1981, 81. I'm scared to death of this stuff. First of all, I mean, I'm growing up in a household where I'm just finding out that my mother is a lesbian, which back in 1980, 81 was totally different than it is today.
Yeah.
All right. And she's a stoner. So my mother's a stoner lesbian, for crying out loud. Well, why do you think that is adjusting for me? Well, I adjusted. So you know what my mother did? Try it. What? you will now understand what it is. And so I did. I didn't really, and I don't do it now. I mean, because it never really did anything to me that was like monumental or did I care.
Took the curiosity out of it too.
But it did, and she made me feel better about what she was doing, and I no longer had a problem with it. So Bill says I'm a curious closet drinker. You have that cabinet in the back of the studio. Your secret is safe with your audience. No, I really don't. I don't smoke pot now. But then again, I don't have anything against anybody that does. Because I understand it now. I got so baked one time with her. Oh my God. This is back when the old Norwichtown Mall was there.
With cow doors and all that?
Yeah. Well, we were walking in the Norwichtown Mall. I was in the middle of her and Sharon. They were holding me up. And then somebody came up that they knew. Hey, how you doing? You know, hey, Mike. Hey. I remember going home and falling asleep. I slept for 14 hours, and all I could remember is having a dream that I was in the video game Cubert. Remember Cubert? Boing, boing, boing. Yeah, I was in that video game. That was it. So
I never enjoyed it. Never did it.
Yeah, no. Paul, you?
Once or twice, but
yeah. That's just today.
I think I was drunk at the time.
Yeah, I never.
No, it never did anything for me. Pot. It never made me feel good. I never had that. So I tried it once a long time ago. That was.
Yeah, but I never inhaled.
Oh, Jesus. No, with me, it just made me want to eat chips.
Really?
That was it. I figured I'm fat enough. I don't need to make this to have me go fatter. My mother would just, and she was fine. You wouldn't know the difference. She was just mellow. You know, now they give you Wellbutrin for the same thing. So, well, I don't know. All right. We'll be back in a second. Myself, Paul, and our guest today, Rich Waselik, talking about public health and safety and kids and just a bouillabaisse of stuff. So we'll finish up the conversation. We hope you stick with us right here on SNSN.
Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations in and going strong. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first RV, contact the family that knows RVs, Highway Campers. They'll walk you through the process of finding the right RV for you and can even finance it for you. Visit www.highwaycampers.com and find your home on wheels. After all, home is where you park it. Highway Campers is a proud supporter of Griswold Youth Football.
Reliable plumbing and heating services are just a phone call away when you contact the professionals at McGuire Plumbing and Heating in Fallentown. Family owned for more than 35 years, McGuire Plumbing and Heating has earned a reputation by providing accurate quotes and being open and honest when on the job, plus giving honest advice that may be needed down the road but isn't an immediate concern today. Find McGuire Plumbing and Heating on Facebook or call 860-376-3388. Look for the big truck with the little Irish fella. McGuire Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of Griswold Youth Football.
Hello, I'm Miranda Mahoney, Project Coordinator of Griswold Pride, your drug-free community coalition. We want to help you keep your kids safe during this challenging time. Social distancing is still in effect, and so is the social host law. Reports are coming in that teens are contracting the virus at underage drinking parties. Parents, allowing underage drinking on your property could land you in jail for up to a year, plus fines. Another reason why you should not provide alcohol to our youth. For more info, go to griswoldpride.org. griswoldpride.org. griswoldpride.org.
Hi, I'm Harry, the Tooth Fairy. Or at least I used to be the Tooth Fairy. Business was great. Then people started discovering Griswold Dental. Dr. Norman Katzoff and his staff can do things to help you keep your teeth longer. It's enough to make an old Tooth Fairy cry. Griswold Dental can do all the work in-house. Imagine a new crown in 2 hours. They even know how to make dental anxiety go away. They even have a laser that can help with your gums. Griswold Griswold Dental will make you want to smile again. They can restore, clean, and help prevent all those problems that keep me in business. Dr. Katzoff and his staff will make you feel like family. They're friendly and you'll be comfortable. Contact Griswold Dental today and set up an appointment. 860-376-2624. 860-376-2624. Griswold Dental, 87 Slater Avenue, Jewett City. Tell them the Tooth Fairy sent you.
News and information you need for your day. SNSN.
All right, let's take a look at the weather forecast with Paul Ash.
Good morning, everybody. Right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City is 64 degrees. Mostly sunny today. Highs will be around 78 degrees. A little wind around, maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. But tonight, it's going to be clear. Lows around 59. For your Wednesday, well, it's going to be mostly sunny. Temperature's getting back up there. High is around 80 degrees. Again, some wind around 10 to 20 miles per hour. And of course, for Wednesday night, scattered thunderstorms during the evening, becoming mostly widespread overnight. Lows around 68 degrees. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Tuesday, 09/07/2021.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul. It's weird. I thought usually Jim shows up.
Yeah, well, maybe he's busy today. Oh, sorry. I moved it over because I don't want to hit
4 years. You think he'd know how to use a microphone?
It's tough.
That's the way it goes.
So we've had some pretty decent conversation this morning, talking about kids. I mean, there are different views from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to have the same view on things, which is that's one of the reasons why I like to ask these questions to see what people think. In our society, and in our general area, whether it's Griswold, Plainfield, Norwich, Voluntown, Lisbon. So I don't know. I'm a big proponent of local.
Yep.
So, and I always think that local needs to help local.
Yep.
And stay local. Because once and this is just my own soapbox quote, but and I'd like to get your comments too. Is we as a community, we all can help each other. We can all hurt each other. And I think if you keep a lot of your business local, you're helping other businesses to flourish, which all just comes around instead of I'm not a big box guy. I'm really not. But what do you think, Paul? Like I said, I'm a big local guy.
Well, you're talking about, mostly what we have here, unfortunately, we have one hardware store, which I go there occasionally.
I do too.
Once in a while. I don't do it all the time, but I do go there. We've got the local restaurants, which we participate in those.
And we will participate in one in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So we do try to stay local as much as we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love local.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's tough sometimes because you have to look at affordability as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I love local. We frequent a lot of the local restaurants all the time.
Yeah.
But with the kids, local I think is very important as well because there's too much out there. And I think there's got to be more around this area for kids to do as far as pulling them in for activities. You have your after school sports, you have that kind of stuff. But I think, it's easier said than done, obviously. But pulling more in here for the kids to do, I think would keep them more down local and being able to work with each other and play with each other and that kind of stuff.
I agree. I agree. I think it has to, we have to kind of not minimize or make your bubble small or anything like that.
Yeah. They're too exposed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I never really paid attention to when Trump would go blah 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 or Biden would go, the thing, that kind of stuff. And
we got you, man.
Huh?
We got you, man.
We got you, man.
Okay, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like this,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we were growing up, we would just get together someplace on a ball field and play baseball, play football.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't see kids really doing that.
No.
No.
And then looking at public safety side of it, from what I'm exposed, my wife always tells me, "Oh, you're too cynical," I think is the word, or always thinking on the worst of things. I'm like, well, it's because It's what I see all the time. I'm sure Doreen's on this. She can agree with me. That's what you're
being a
exposed.
police
That's what you
officer,
know.
You're going to see things.
Yeah,
sure.
that's what you know. And dispatching, you get all sides of it. Fire, EMS, police.
Mhm.
You get the worst and the worst and the worst. No one calls because they're having a great day. So
Very true. Good point.
Like I was telling you, it's too dangerous to go doing something like that. The kids walking on the street today,
Well,
my wife was followed in Walmart a couple of weeks ago by somebody, and she took his picture and she was following him. He was not in the women's section looking for clothing for himself, so following her around. It's not as safe as it was when we were kids walking around and doing stuff. So that's part of the problem.
What
I
about
think.
the Walmart in Groton?
Yeah.
Did you see what happened? Two guys went in and just grabbed registers and took off.
walked right out. Yeah, this is what's going to happen to them. Yeah. So before you weren't allowed to wear masks in the store before. Now you have to over there.
Yeah.
Groton has a mask mandate. So.
Oh, they have it. Groton has a mask mandate now.
Well, I see a lot of stores on there. I can't say that for sure, but I see a lot of stores.
Well, each
on there
each store can go ahead and they can.
Yeah. Well,
put
this
what
was
they want, but I don't think Groton has a mask mandate. I think Norwich, New Haven, Hartford, West Hartford, East Hartford,
Okay.
and I think that's it.
Okay,
right
'cause
now.
I know the one store. I don't go to Groton often, but the one store I went to that day had a sign on there: "You must wear a mask."
Yeah.
Inside.
Well, I've seen other.
Yeah.
Other. Oh, I think Mansfield as well.
Do they?
I think Mansfield as well.
But now you weren't allowed to wear them in a store before. Now, how are you going to identify somebody?
I know. Imagine going to the bank with your mask on.
Yeah,
You know.
I did it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
You can't have. You got to have a T-shirt on. That's for sure. Can't go without a T-shirt. And you got to have shoes on. And now you got to have a mask
You
on.
have a mask on.
But it's. I think that's part of the problem. That it's not as safe. Like we're afraid to let her daughter walk around when she has to walk my dog.
Yeah, because a lot of these, some of the younger kids are carrying guns.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or knives.
Yeah,
Or
knives.
Knives, yeah. Because
Get up personal with that. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I don't mess with anybody because you never know if you're going to get shanked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I mean,
No.
you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't know. That's why I worry about what's going to happen in the future. It's going to be even more worse.
Yeah.
Or they got to buckle down and start.
I nominate
This one.
Paul as tribute.
I mean, even driving down the highway, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether somebody's,
Mm-hmm.
you piss somebody off and then you try chasing them, or they're going to stop and shoot you.
Well, yeah, it's happening.
Or
yeah.
ram you.
Yeah.
Ram you. Yeah.
So, well, good perspective this morning. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well,
Rich, Thank
definitely.
you for coming on in.
Anytime.
And you'll be here back tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow, we got some guests pretty much all week. Tomorrow we will have Sean McKenna here from Griswold Public Schools. He's our superintendent here in town. We'll have him. There's a lot of great things going on in a lot of programs that he's going to talk about tomorrow. And then Thursday we have Miranda Mahoney from Griswold Pride coming in, as well as Kathy Duffy from Matt's Mission. We're going to talk about Matt's Mission Celebrates Recovery, which is an event that'll happen at Veterans Memorial Park this Saturday, which will happen to be September 11th, the 20th anniversary.
And then they have the 9/11 ceremony.
There's a 9/11 ceremony as well. Mrs. Marzak let me know about this just the other day. They'll have that at the school. And from what we understand, you have to be masked up, even outside, and you have to practice social distancing. So, but they are going to have a memorial service, commemorating 20 years, of 9/11. So,
And you remember exactly where you were.
yes.
I actually remember. I remember where I was when Kennedy got shot.
Oh,
Isn't that something?
Yep.
Isn't that something that we remember?
I remember.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay around for the rest of the day. We hope you do. Why? Well, because we're going to have the best of the 80s and the 90s all day long, along with local news right here on SNSN. See you tomorrow.
You buy better. Better than Burns. Much better. So much better than Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better than Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Hurricane season is upon us. Did you know insurance companies can issue moratoriums that prevent you from securing coverage when there's an impending storm?